Exploitation Section. Exhibitors Trade Review. July 29th and August 5th, 1922. The Hope Theater, Dallas, Texas, exploited First National's One Clear Call with a ballyhoo made up of 5 white-capped Klansmen who went abroad ahead of the Hope's turret-shaped advertising auto. The cavalcade was led by a trumpeter, and the others flourished banners, making clear their status as heralds of the theater and the photoplay. 6 gowned knights on horseback paraded Broadway and covered the greater part of the city in an effective ballyhoo arranged by managing director Joe Plunkett of the Strand as an important phase of a campaign for First National's One Clear Call. There were some rumors that masked riders might be objectionable, so Plunkett overcame the obstacle by eliminating the mask without loss to the effect of the parade. Front of the Rialto, Columbus, Georgia, for the run of Metro's Fascination. Blue lights were used to get an effect of coolness in the outside illumination, which threw the cutouts into prominence. Inside the lobby, the lights were white. This display was arranged by Major I.C. Holloway, manager of the Rialto. The campaign of the Kinema Theater, Los Angeles, for Pathé's Nanook of the North included an attractive bit of pageantry in the form of a float displaying a scene of the Northland. The effect of the Kinema Drive is demonstrated by the line forming to the left for one of the performances of Nanook. Pathé's Nanook of the North displayed in the lobby of Rubin and Finkelstein's Capitol Theater, St. Paul. By combining a large cutout of Thomas Meighan with a real cradle loaned by a local furniture dealer, manager John B. Carroll of the Imperial Theater, Asheville, North Carolina, produced a lifelike effect that spelled success for his lobby for the run of Paramount's The Bachelor Daddy. This nursery scene was set against a background of purple velvet drapings. The props were furnished without further cost to the management. The speed, action, and thrills of the Fox production, The Fast Mail, supplied the best possible display material, and was utilized to the limit of those possibilities at the Strand. Watercolors reproducing scenes from the play were grouped in the lobby and produced a display. J. L. McCurdy of the Standard, Cleveland, Ohio, evolved a neat publicity stunt for Universal's Step on It when he arranged with the local manager of a scale company for the use of one of its machines, which he placed in front of the theater. He wired Hoot Gibson for his exact weight, and then offered passes to the show to all persons whose poundage corresponded with that of the star. For summertime appeal, the Rivoli Theater, Columbia, South Carolina, selected this makeup for the showing of First National's One Arabian Night. A 24-sheet of Pola Negri surmounted the marquee, and the front of the house was done over with a cardboard scenic drop carrying a setting that suggested the Nile, elliptical moon, mosques, palm trees, desert, and all. Brass banding the show, literally and figuratively, is the mark of showmanship. It always has been, and the street stunt is one of the mainstays thereof. Here is a circus idea used by Pantages Theater, Minneapolis, and the Tower, St. Paul, for Paramount's Fool's Paradise. Boys dressed as clowns traveled on pogo sticks behind a brass band. The Astoria Theater, Astoria, Long Island, sent out a herald in Victorian costume, mounted on a Ford liberally bannered for First National's Smilin' Through. Manager Charles J. Keene of the Brighton Beach Baths and the Rocking Chair Movies, New York, entertained the bathers and exploited Paramount's Find the Woman with this stunt. 5 dolls were buried about 1 foot in the sand, and signs placed within a few feet of them. The signs notified the bathers that all those who found the woman could have a pass to the performance by presenting the doll at the box office. Cutouts were used to good advantage at the Majestic, Portland, Oregon, for lobby display purposes in connection with Universal's The Trap and Baby Peggy in The Little Rascal. A head cutout from a 24 sheet made up the lobby stand, and smaller figures pasted on cards used to decorate the display frame bills. The Savoy, San Francisco, affected a tie-up with a Shriners convention, playing up the oriental atmosphere of Pathé's Isle of Zorda in a lobby carrying many welcomes and greetings to the assembled nobles. The picture was selected as the official photoplay of the convention, and the Savoy management played up every angle that presented itself. Bob Lynch of the Metro Exchange in Philadelphia ballyhooed the streets of Quakertown for the Arrow serial Nan of the North, with a car so thoroughly saturated with atmosphere and titles of the picture that it would take expert testimony to prove it a Ford. This idea is used at the Belmont Theater, Belmont and Tremont Avenues, New York City, to dress up banners suspended from the marquee. On each end of the banner, a cutout from one sheets is pasted, the front and back being identical. Front of the Howard Theater, Atlanta, dressed up for the engagement of the Selznick attraction, reported missing. The life preservers hung on the outside column served as frames for scenes of airplanes and motorboats, and a shadow box showing a motorboat and plane race was used in the foyer. The arrangement was designed by manager DeSales. The $500,000 Sanger Theater at Monroe, Louisiana made a bold and striking display of its entertainment fare when United Artists Way Down East played there. Manager R.J. Manning extended the front of the house and pasted up 24 sheets in such a fashion that the entrances served as magic portals through which patrons might enter into the rural atmosphere of the play immediately after they left the street walk. Lobby of the Majeska Theater, Augusta, Georgia, when manager Frank J. Miller advertised Fool's Paradise by turning it into a sort of trip around the world. A 24 sheet mounted above the entrance added to the effect. The biggest thing about W.A. Doster's exploitation of Universal's Foolish Wives at the Strand, Montgomery, Alabama, was this $1 million window. Partially unwound reels of film were displayed in a prominent window. Uniformed guards stood watch over a precious film, a stunt which not only attracted many passers-by, but was written up in the newspapers. The Newark Star Eagles puzzle game, in conjunction with famous players Lasky and the Newark Theater. The newspaper artist made drawings of Wallace Reed, Rudolph Valentino, Thomas Meighan, Jack Holt, Gloria Swanson, Betty Compson, and Agnes Ayres. These were blocked off and cut up, then rearranged to form an interesting puzzle. 15,000 replies were said to have been received. Instead of using cutouts and display frames in the lobby of the Imperial, Asheville, North Carolina, to advertise United Artists' The Ruling Passion, manager John B. Carroll placed 3 large figures above the marquee, which he illuminated with electric spots. He also tied up with the gasoline filling stations for some poster advertising. H.A. Gillespie, manager of the Liberty, Yakima, Washington, for the run of First National's Penrod, used this special front, representing the board fence and sideboard house that formed the meeting grounds of the American Boys Protective Association in the story. The campaign included free passes to kids who displayed the best signs for the Penrod opening at the Liberty. Just how completely the FBO told all New York about In the Name of the Law may be judged by this group of photographs. The campaign included, among other things, 4 busloads of newsies who distributed a special newspaper issued by RC, a banner visible for 1/4 mile at the Long Island end of the Queensboro Bridge, inquiry reporters who asked questions about In the Name of the Law, a sign 20 feet by 30 at 43rd Street and Broadway, and a scene-taking stunt.